Hey Panthers! Today we're going to be drawing a cute panther cartoon with medium difficulty. Start with a blank piece of paper in landscape and fold it twice. These fold marks are going to help us know where to draw our lines. You'll see as we go on. Now you can tell that I've already drawn this out with pencil, so I would recommend you start with pencil, but I want you to follow along with my marker. Let's start with a slight curve close to the very top of our page. Next, we're going to draw the ears. Notice that the ears come all the way down to the halfway fold on our page. You can see from the cross that I drew. All right, moving on to the cheek. The cheek starts within the ear, comes out and around like a big fat chipmunk cheek. Make sure to come in a little bit and back out for the chin. Draw that same kind of line on the other side. Next, we're going to draw the inside of the ear. So give some cushion in between that inside circle and the outside, and notice how they meet down at the bottom. I drew a little circle for you to see how those two lines come together near the end. Okay, let's work on the face. Remember, those red lines are to show you where the fold lines meet. So below the middle, we're going to start with our nose. I marked it with blue right there. Think of the nose as a triangle with the flat side on top and all the corners kind of curved. So we have curvy sides and two little kind of divots, sort of like the chin was. All right, we're already moving on to the lips here. Draw a straight line down and then two curvy lines up for the smile. Next, we're going to move on to the eyes. Start with the bottom eyelid. It's kind of like a fat little cheek spot. On both sides, try to get them even. Now notice how big the eye is. You'll notice that the eye goes from below the midline to above the midline. Now I've added another circle above the eye just to show you proportionally how big it is. So the eye is about 1/3 of the whole total face from top to bottom. Now, if that's confusing to you, just forget about all the circles and try to draw your eyes big. A general rule of thumb with cartoons is the bigger the eyes, the cuter your object appears. We're starting with the outside line of the eye first. This is like the whites of the eye. And I'm trying to get the shape the same for both sides. This is the hardest part, so definitely use a pencil in case you need to erase and try again. The next thing we're going to draw is the highlight mark. So it's kind of like a little half moon shape. Make sure you draw it on the same side of the eye. So for me, this is both on my right side of the eye. I'm going to leave that blank white because that's a highlight mark. The next circle is for the iris. That's the colored part of the eye. And the last circle on the inside is the pupil. That's the part that's going to end up being black. So we're mostly done with our face now. And we're just going to add some necklines at the bottom. A few whiskers on the cheeks. And a little scribble on the nose. Now don't forget the eyebrows like I did in this part of the video. I end up adding them later. Alright, coloring the pupils black, and we're going to take watercolor on for the coloring part. Now if you don't have watercolor at home, just use crayons or markers, but I thought I would try something different with this one. Now, the watercolor black is very strong, so if you can tell, I'm adding water to my paper first and then coming in and adding the black paint inside of that. I get a little bit of shadows down there under the chin, and I try to make the inside of his ears even darker. Alright, and that's the end. That's our panther.